I came across an article this weekend that made me ask myself one simple question. How much money has the Black Lives Matter organization raised? When I saw the answer, I was floored, shocked. So now I ask you, how much money do you think the Black Lives Matter organization has raised since the death of George Floyd? $100,000? $1 million? $100 million? $1 billion? Now, I'm playing. It's actually a lot more. A lot more. Let's get into it. The answer is $10.6+ billion as reported by The Economist. When we click there, it takes us here. $10.6+ billion was given to the Black Lives Matter causes. Where did the money go? Good question. Now, I'm not going to read you the whole article because it's pretty long and boring. It goes into how much money was donating to different organizations. Some had nothing to do with the movement but had Black Lives in their name or Black Lives Matter in their name, so they got millions of dollars and then that got frozen. But that's not what I want to show you. What I want to show you is this. Patrice Campbell, one of the founders of Black Lives Matter. Coulors has taken the role of the main leader of the once leaderless group. She is in charge of the foundation, which will control the funds. Remember this. Patrice Campbell controls the funds, and we're talking about $10+ billion, distributing them to the officially recognized BLM city chapters through another new body called the BLM Grassroots. Now, why is this important? Well, this is the article that I came across this weekend that made me ask myself the question, how much money did they raise? Black Lives Matter's Patrice Campbell ripped for buying $1.4 million home in White Enclave. But sure, you might want me to read this to you, but no. There's more. Further research showed me this. Inside BLM co-founders Patrice Campbell's $1 million real estate buying binge. As protests broke out across the country in the name of Black Lives Matter, the group's co-founder went on a real estate buying binge, snagging 4 high-end homes for $3.2 million in the US alone. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Patrisse over here calls herself Marxist. She holds the communist values. And if you don't believe me or you don't remember, let me show you a quick clip of Patrisse saying, I am a happily trained Marxist. Check it out.
I think that the criticism is helpful. I also think that it might, I think of a lot of things. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories.
But let's keep going. Patrisse, 37, also eyed property in the Bahamas at an ultra-exclusive resort where Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods both have homes. The Post has learned. Luxury apartments and townhouses at the beachfront Albany resorts outside of Nassau are priced between $5 and $20 million. So the cheapest home there is $5 million, yet Patrisse is looking to buy a home there. How? Where is she getting this cash? The self-described Marxist last month purchased a $1.4 million home on a secluded road in short drive from Malibu in Los Angeles, according to a report. The 2300, alright, here they describe the home, but now we see some infighting between Black Lives Matter. Huck Newsom, the head of Black Lives Matter Greater New York City, called for an independent investigation to find out how the global network spent its money. Well, Patrice is spending it, obviously. If you go around calling yourself a socialist, you have to ask how much of her own personal money is going to charitable causes. Yeah, she's not actually a Marxist socialist. She's a grifter. It's really sad because it makes people doubt the validity of the movement and overlook the fact that it's people that carry this movement. From the beginning, this was a grift. Come on, brother. Last year, Patrice Campbell and spouse Janaya Khan ventured to Georgia to acquire a fourth home. Why do you need so many homes? You're a socialist. A custom ranch on 3.2 rural acres in Coins featured a private airplane hangar. This is clearly a grift. I don't have to keep reading this. This is preposterous. So I know what you might be asking yourself. How is a self-proclaimed Marxist, socialist, communist finding herself with millions and millions of dollars to spend on ranches, on airplane hangars, and multi-million-dollar houses across several countries? Well, the answer is really clear. And let me show you some tweets by James Lindsey and the replies he got, because it gives you a better picture of how things really go with communist revolutions. From James Lindsey, Black Lives Matter organization. Money for its leaders milk off the circumstances of actual black people who are suffering. In Leninist communism and many other grifts, there's a hierarchy of the elites and the serfs. Right. So in response, Dr. Jason Johnson says, this is the kind of bad-faced absolutism that weakens your overall argument. Marxists can make money, it doesn't make them hypocritical any more than an environmentalist who flies to a conference instead of walking. I think it's pretty hypocritical when John Kerry takes a private jet to an environmentalist conference, but that's not what we're talking about in this video. In response to Dr. Jason Johnson, this guy says, this is laughable. Make money? She calls for the destruction of the capitalist system, for the funding of the police, calls whiteness a scourge, and then buys in the whitest and most expensive region of Los Angeles, leaving the hood behind, much like BLM's Hall of Riches. I agree, and I think it's quite silly to believe that in communist revolutions, the people at the top lived like the people at the bottom. I mean, you really think that Stalin wasn't munching on caviar and smoking fantastic cigars, great whiskey, and the best vodka? Of course he was. Now, if you can hear the rain sound, I apologize, but it's not as bad as the American people being out $10.6 billion to a racial grift. Thanks, Patrisse. But now, she's got her airplane hangar, and she's going to make sure to probably have an airplane in there to get away once her grift is up. Because I think people are realizing that this was a racial grift meant to divide the nation and fill her pockets. And that's what she did. Good job. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, comment, share, follow me on Twitter, follow me on BitChute. Thank you for watching. See you next time.